This is a 16 by 20 linen canvas that I'm toning here with the bluer grayer area is cobalt blue with a little bit of raw umber and a lot of gamsol, and the bottom area was just more raw umber, which kind of set up the whole painting. So here I'm just sketching out the roses. I'm using Indian yellow, and I love using Indian yellow for white roses because it really does help with the translucency of the petals. So as you can see, I'm just massing in basic abstract shapes. And because I use Indian yellow in that first kind of massing shape of the roses, I can come back with pure white and it still stays very clean and warm. That more lavender rose was just a pale, pale pink. So I'm adding a little bit of alizarin to that mix. And here, as I'm starting to form the roses, I am really focusing on simple light and shadow patterns, no detail at this point, just trying to get a simplified light shape and a simplified dark shape. I'm using probably right now, probably about a number 10 Sable Tech. It's the 95510 series that I sell on my Inspired to Paint website. I sell a brush set that I use. I love these sable techs. They're a synthetic sable, and they just do what I want to do as I'm painting flowers. I prefer a softer haired brush when I'm painting flowers. If I'm painting something more like a pumpkin or something like that, I might use a hog bristle. So I'm still just simplifying these shapes, just little puzzle pieces here and there. Painting for me is like putting together a puzzle. It's just a few pieces here, a few pieces there, until eventually you can see the image emerge. I am not one that can paint flower by flower. I'm just all over the place as I paint. I do use my finger a lot to push out edges and to soften edges. These roses are David Austin variety called Tranquility. If you aren't familiar with my work, I grow all of the flowers from my garden. I have over 100 rose bushes, but this is one of my favorites, the Tranquility. It's just a very beautiful, creamy white rose bush, multi-petaled. It's very profuse. It blooms incredibly. It gives me hundreds of roses each year to paint from. And this little vase I bought off of eBay. I'm a big fan of Henry Fontaine-Latour, and he used this kind of vase, this style or shape of vase quite a bit. So I went onto eBay and I found one similar. I just love the length of it and the delicateness of it. Those leaves, I loved that connected shape of the dark leaves on the right side there hanging down. Absolutely love that. So the background, I am using that cobalt blue, raw umber, white, maybe a tiny, tiny bit of alizarin. I was just really wanting this one to be really calm and peaceful. I'm using a larger hog bristle for this one, probably, I don't know, a size 10. So the way I set up the setups against my wall, it does cast a shadow. And I'm putting that in and I'm not sure I'm liking it. So I put it in, I take it out, I put it in, I take it out. I'm realizing right now that the two shapes right and left are like parentheses. So I'm going to change that. I'm not liking that. I'm back to my sable flat, probably maybe a size 12. I'm also looking at areas in the glass vase that I can just connect to the background, lose an edge. How much of the edge of the vase can I lose? These Tranquility, they have this beautiful, beautiful warm yellow interior of the petals. Just absolutely gorgeous. For that foreground, I'm using raw umber I'm basically using the same mixture as the background, but it's more raw umber, less white. I think I may have added a little bit of yellow, Indian yellow to warm it up. So see, I'm putting that shadow back in, thinking that might be kind of a nice directional tool to bring you into the painting. But again, I'm thinking, maybe not. So that is the hog bristle I'm using is a Vienna, a Royal Vienna. Also, I sell these on my Inspired to Paint site. They're a synthetic hog bristle. They stand up really well to painting, scrubbing. Back to my softer sable for the rose. I'm adding some background color to the foreground so it feels cohesive. Those are little touches of greens. I'm trying to incorporate a little bit of the colors from the roses and the leaves and background into the foreground so it does feel harmonious and cohesive. I'm increasing the chroma underneath the vase so that comes forward. Oh, I just love that little highlight that I just put in. That felt really good. If you're enjoying this video and you're not a member of Inspired to Paint, please check out my online art course, inspiredtopaint.com. It's with my good friend Shanna Coons, who's a landscape painter. We have well over 100 fully instructional videos that you get, complete dialogue through the whole video, reference images, palette shots. We do group critiques and business tips. You can join for $10 for your first month and watch over 100 videos, and there's no contract. You can cancel anytime. We have a few different memberships that you can choose from. So check it out, inspiredtopaint.com. These are some little leaves that are coming in off the edge of the left. I needed to break that shape right there. So adding a few leaves kind of breaks that shape up a little bit so it's not just this chunk of nothingness. Just building more background. Still not sure about the cast shadows. In the end, I decide to really make it subtle. So but this is the process I love. I love the search. I love the unknown in painting. I know I've had people or teachers say to me, you should be able to visualize how you want this to look when you're even before you step up to the canvas, and know exactly how this painting is going to look when you put that brush stroke down to the canvas. And that is not how I believe. That's not what I believe. I actually, of course, I have an idea. I wanted this a more high key painting and a little bit more painterly, but I don't have this finished version in my mind that I just copy. So I love this search. I love working out problems on the canvas. I love finding shapes. So you can see how much I move around from rose to rose. I do a few strokes on one rose and then move to another rose. That's because it gives my eye a chance to rest on that rose and, go to another rose. And then when I come back to the rose that I was working on maybe a couple minutes earlier, I can judge it better with a more open eye, a fresher perspective. Sometimes when we work on one particular element too long, we can't see the forest for the trees. We can't see what's not working. We've gotten used to the problem, and it doesn't seem like a problem so much anymore. So that's why I jump around a lot. those three white roses there, I'm trying to figure out how, simplify my shadow area, bring the detail in the light area, but also kind of have this connected quality between those three roses. I added a tiny, tiny bit of yellow ochre to that background mix just to kind of soften it even a little bit more. See, it's better without that dark shadow on the left. That one little petal off to the left of the vase, where the foreground meets the background, to me that was an important shape because it kind of broke that hard line where foreground meets background. And also, if you look, the cast shadow off from the right, I'm trying to connect that to the cast shadow on the tabletop. So the painting process for this particular painting was 1 hour and 25 minutes is how long I was at the easel, and I've condensed it down to just under 12 minutes for you as a time lapse. So I hope you have enjoyed the process of painting these beautiful white roses, and I hope that you are inspired to paint. Thanks for watching.